Welcome back to my channel and a very special welcome if you're new here. My name is Jen and this is Jen Clayton Beauty. We do everything beauty and makeup. So I bought everything for a full face of cheap makeup off of the Shop Miss A website. Everything in my basket is from the AOA brand, which is Shop Miss A's brand. Everything's about $1. There are a few items that range a little bit closer to $2, but this entire basket of makeup was $35. And that's only because I added on a couple of sponges and a brush to get to $35. Shipping is free at the $35 point, so I wanted to make sure that I got free shipping and I wanted to have everything for a full face of cheap makeup. I have done a couple Shop Miss A videos in the past. I will link those down below for you, but they have come out with a lot of new products and we need to test them out. So if you're excited to see a full face of cheap makeup, give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not, turn your bell on because I upload lots and lots of new videos every single week. Down in the description box, I will link everything that I used today, the Shop Miss A website. I will pop up on the screen the price of each item as we are using it so you can see the price, so you can get a better idea of the cost of each item. Like I said, everything ranges from about $1 to $2 max. Also down in the description box, I will link my favorite beauty boxes, discounts to my favorite indie brands, and come follow me on TikTok for more beauty and makeup. So let me zoom you in and let's do a full face of Shop Miss A AOA cheap makeup. So I've went ahead and applied my skincare and my sunscreen. I have not added anything else to my face. So the first thing we're going to do is prime my skin for makeup. So I picked up the AOA Perfect Illuminating Primer. Now they had multiple types of primer, everything from matte to more natural to illuminating. Now for me, I have normal to dry skin. So if I can get an illuminating product, I'm here for it. In fact, I always mix an illuminizer in with my foundation. I did pick one up from Shop Miss A, so we're going to test that out. This feels really good. It's nice and thick. And I'm just going to blend that into my skin, get it primed for makeup. My skin looks so beautiful and glowy. I really like this. First impression of the glow, it is 100% there. It feels really good on my skin. Definitely hydrating, just the slightest bit tacky, which is exactly what you're looking for in a primer. And then like I said, I picked up an illuminating product. I again love to mix a little bit of this in with my foundation. You can also use a product like this as a cream highlight, so you can tap it on the high points of your cheek, but this is the AOA Glow Baby Long Lasting Glow. So I'm going to put a little bit here on my hand. Ooh, that looks super glowy. I'm gonna be glowing to the gods between this illuminating primer and this liquid glow. So I'm going to tap that on my skin. And then I was so excited to see this foundation. You guys know how much I love the Good Apple Cream Foundation. It is so nice on the skin. Full coverage, super hydrating, absolutely beautiful. So I saw that AOA had a cream type of foundation as well. I have mine in the shade M3, which is medium neutral. That's where I am, especially when I'm a little bit more tan like I am right now. I live in Arizona, so I'm in the sun a lot, pretty much year round. So this looks to be the perfect shade. And then I picked up a foundation brush. I've never tried a foundation brush from AOA. This is the Buffing Brush and Scoop. So there's actually a scoop on one end if you wanted to pick up foundation or product. Brush feels really nice. Kabuki brush style. It's pretty dense, but super soft. So I'm actually going to use that to pick up the foundation. And then I'm going to buff that into my skin along with that illuminizer. First of all, the coverage, wow. Very similar to the KVD Good Apple. A little bit goes a very long way. That's exactly how that KVD foundation is, but that's $40 or $42. I don't notice any difference coverage-wise. I'm curious how this is going to wear and actually buff into the skin. So I always go in with a brush first, and then I'll go through with my beauty sponge and just tap it into the skin just to make sure there's no brush strokes. Like I said, the coverage, chef's kiss. This looks so good. And the Viral Pawpaw Sponge, I had to pick one of these up. I have never tried these. I know, who am I? I should have tried these a long time ago, but this is the AOA blender. You can buy these on Amazon too, I believe. but they're supposed to be a dupe for the Beauty Blender, but much, much more affordable. Oh yeah, it's really squishy. It feels really, really nice. Gives me complete Beauty Blender vibe. Let me go ahead and get this wet and we'll tap in this foundation and see what we end up with. So this feels, like I said, very, very similar to a Beauty Blender. And I'm just going to tap in my foundation. This sponge is really nice. Like I said, it is very, very similar to a Beauty Blender, very bouncy, and the foundation blended in beautifully. These three products work really well together. I really like the brush, and then this definitely is a dupe for the KVD and the Beauty Blender. We're off to a really good start. Also, I'm very glowy. Very, very glowy, which I'm not mad about. To be honest with you, in the future, if I'm using this illuminating primer, I don't even think that I need an illuminizer to mix in with my foundation because this offered the glow that I was looking for. So that's exciting to know that this is glowy enough that I don't need an illuminizer. And then for concealer, I grabbed the AOA Liquid Concealer. So it has a little squeezy tube applicator, which isn't my favorite. I much prefer a doe foot, but listen, if it works, it's super affordable. We can deal with that. I'm going to just tap some concealer under my eyes, on my forehead, down my nose, and then I put a little bit right here under my cheekbone. I do like to let my concealer sit for just a few minutes to warm it up. And then we'll actually blend it out with the pointy end of our Paw sponge. This sponge is incredible. It feels really, really nice. And so far this concealer is blending out beautifully. This is also going to take away a little bit of the glow, but we will definitely be adding that back in with highlight. So the coverage of the concealer is really good. I would say it's a little bit more of a medium coverage concealer. I am going to add just a teeny tiny bit more to my under eyes. I just want to see if I can build this up. And I also want to make sure this concealer doesn't crease. I'm 48, so I have a lot of fine lines under my eyes. So I want to make sure that the concealer doesn't settle and especially doesn't crease throughout the day. At the end of the video, when I'm giving you a recap of everything we used today, I'll let you know a wear test as well. All right, let's go ahead and tap that out again. That concealer looks really nice. So far, I don't see it settling into my fine lines, but again, we'll see how it wears throughout the day. And then I decided to pick up the AOA Velvet Heart Puff. I've heard really, really good things about this. I have the Tati Blendiful little sponge I use to set my under eyes, which is similar to this. It's a lot smaller. This is so soft. It's so velvety soft, but I thought we could use the pointy end to set our under eyes and then use the flat to test out our setting powder. This feels really nice. So for setting my face, now I've tried this product before and it is exceptional. This is the AOA Perfect Setting Powder. I always get mine in the little bit of a pink hue. I think it adds brightness to the under eye and this powder is beautiful for setting the face. I'm just quickly going to tap my concealer just to make sure there's no creasing. And then going in with our little sponge, again, focusing with the tip of the heart, I'm going to go ahead and use this powder to set my under eye. Look at that. It is just blurring and absolutely beautiful. It's not drying at all. It's as beautiful as I remember it being. And again, setting my under eye perfectly. It's not dry, it's not settling. It's everything I remember it to be. Now, before I set my face, I did pick up a couple of cream products. I love cream bronzer, love cream blush. So I did pick up a cream bronzer. This is from the Venetian Romance collection, and mine is in the shade Canal. This looks like a pretty good cream contour cream bronzer shade. So using a flat style kabuki brush, I'm going to pick up the bronzer. And I'm going to just apply it to the area of my face that I want to contour. That definitely has some pigmentation. That little bit that I picked up on my brush is enough to do my entire face. Pretty impressive. So let me go ahead and blend this out. Again, I'm putting it on the high points of my face or areas that the sun hits that I want to contour and bring a little bit of warmth into. Now, like I said, a little bit goes a very long way. I'm going to go in with my sponge and blend that out. I definitely could have even used less product. This applied beautifully and blended out really nice. Look how pretty that is. This is the perfect shade for me, and I'm impressed with how little you have to use to get enough pigmentation. This is a pretty small cream bronzer, but the little bit that you have to use, this will last a long time. Now for blush, I picked up a cream powder duo. I thought, a bang for your buck, 2 products in one. This is from Petal Pop, again, the AOA brand blush duo. I picked mine up in the shade Flower. This darker side is the cream blush, and then we have our powder blush. So I'm going to go into the cream blush side with an angled brush, and we're going to add a little bit of color to our cheeks. Ooh, that is beautiful. Wow. That is really pretty. I love this color. Again, a little bit goes a long way. I only had to tap in 1 time for each cheek. That definitely sunk into the skin. It's really beautiful. And now using our little puff and the heart part of it, so I can pick up just a little bit more product, I'm going to go ahead and set my face. And then I'll tap that in. My skin is looking so beautiful, set but still glowy. I can still see that glow from within through the product. I'm impressed. For bronzer, I have the AOA Perfect Bronzer in the shade Frappe. This is a little bit lighter than the cream bronzer or cream contour that we use. I'm going to apply this over the places that we put the cream product. Again, just to bring in a little bit of warmth and set those cream products. This is stunning. Look at how beautiful that is. I could have even went 1 shade darker, but it looks so nice on the skin. I can't believe how easily this blended, how opaque and pigmented it is. Another winner. And now we'll go in with the powder blush on the other side of our little duo, and I'll tap that right on top of that cream blush. Ooh. That's pretty. It has a little bit of a sheen to it. I really like the color though, and it's layering so nicely and so easily over the cream product. Those two look really nice together. And then you know I love highlighter, so I went a little crazy in my order, and I actually ordered 2 highlighters. I didn't realize that I had done that. So we actually get to test out 2 different highlights from AOA. So this is the AOA Perfect Highlighter in the shade Empress, and then this is the AOA Everglow Highlighter in the shade Twilight. First of all, the packaging of this is really, really nice and luxe. So what I think we'll do is we'll put 1 highlight on one side, 1 highlight on the other. So I want you to take a look too at the pan embossing. Isn't that beautiful? This packaging is really impressive. There's even a mirror in the compact. So I'm going to pick up first the shade Twilight, and we'll buff that on the high points of our cheek. Wow. That is stunning. That is so beautiful. And on the other side, we'll test out the shade Empress. Ooh, that's definitely more gold leaning, but absolutely beautiful as well. Wow. Okay, so there is Twilight. It's a little bit more icy white. And then over here we have Empress, which is a little bit more gold. And you can definitely see the difference between the 2 head on, but they're absolutely beautiful. Let me go ahead and buff a little of the gold into this side and a little bit of Twilight into that side. I always put highlight on the tip of my nose, my forehead, and my Cupid's bow. Both of these shades are absolutely seen from space, and I'm here for it. Also, I want to point out that both of those highlighters just sunk into the skin. It doesn't look like it's sitting on my skin. It definitely sunk in and gave a more glowy look rather than it just being on the surface. So before moving on to our eye look, our brows, and our lips, I did pick up a setting spray. I always set my face mid-makeup, so I'll set it now and then I'll set it again at the end. This is the AOA Flawless Matte Setting Spray. Now, ideally, I would have wanted a luminizing or dewy setting spray, but they didn't have one. So I'm hoping this doesn't take away all the glow that I have going on, but let's test it. It has a little bit of a makeup smell, not in a bad way, but it has that little bit of makeup smell. The sprayer is a little aggressive, so a little bit definitely goes a long way. Even though that's a matte setting spray, I still see that glow. And what's really pretty about this setting spray is it makes my skin look flawless, like a canvas, blurred. It gives a blurring effect. Now I picked up an eyeshadow base. You guys know how much I love my MAC Painterly, but I wanted to try the AOA brand, and this is the Shadow Stay in the shade Natural. It is a doe foot applicator, so I'm going to apply a little bit of the primer to each eye. I will say that I do appreciate that it's a doe foot. It's a little bit easier to apply. And then I'm going to blend that out with a flat brush and just make sure my lids are fully covered. This looks nice. It looks a lot like my MAC Painterly, just that little bit of brightening effect to the eyes. For eyeshadow, I fell in love with these little quads that they have. This is their Cosmic Cowgirl collection, and this is in the shade, this is the palette called Universe. The embossings in the pans look like planets. It's so cute. There's two mattes, there's a lighter and a deeper, and there's two shimmers, a lighter and a deeper. I thought that this eyeshadow palette color story paired beautifully with the blush, and I picked up a lippy to match as well. I've had really good luck with AOA eyeshadow, so I'm hoping that this performs as beautifully as the other ones I've used in the past. I am going to quickly just tap out my eyeshadow primer just to make sure there's no creasing. And then I'm going to go into the lighter matte. We don't have any shade names. Wow, look at all that pigmentation. Wow, with a big fluffy brush, and I'm going to put that in my crease. That was one tap in. And that is the light matte in the palette. Wow. That's pretty impressive, all of that color payoff. Popping that shade in my crease, and as you can see a little bit above my crease, I do have slightly hooded eyes, so when my eyes are open, I still want that shade to pop through. Really impressed so far. This is reminding me of good indie makeup quality. Okay, AOA, that is stunning. I did tap it off because there is a little bit of kick up in the pan, which explains why these shadows are so pigmented. And I'm going to tap that in the outer corner just to deepen that up. Again, that was one tap in. One tap into the shadow, and look at how beautiful that is. I tapped back in to see if I could build it up, and I can 100% build that up and get a little bit more depth in that outer corner. I am literally blown away. Now, using that same fluffy brush we used in the crease, no added shadow, I'm just going to blend. I just want those two shades to seamlessly blend together. And even blending those out, I didn't lose any of the opacity. I didn't pick up any glitter primer because NYX is my go-to and it's super affordable. Honestly, I didn't even see that they had any glitter primer on their website. So I am going to put a little bit of the NYX on my lids, and then we will check out these shimmers. As I always do, I want to test one shimmer with my finger and one shimmer with the brush. I want to see how these perform either way, because some people prefer the finger method, some people prefer their brush, some people like me use both. So I want to make sure that these perform both ways. So I'm going to pick up the deeper shimmer first. It's actually really pretty. It's not a wet foiled looking shimmer, but it's really sparkly. And I'm going to place that on the outer about 3/4 of my lid. Wow, that's even more pink and sparkly than I thought. It's pretty buttery soft when I dip my finger into the pan. Not as soft as some other shimmers that I've worked with in the past, but pretty soft. Definitely not one of those hard, chalky type of shimmers. It's very, very easy to build up. And it looks really, really pretty. With a dense, smaller kind of pencil brush, I'm going to pick up the other shimmer in the palette. And I'm going to place that on the inner portion of my lid and just pull that in to meet that first shade. Okay, this is really pretty too. This is definitely a little bit lighter pink. What I appreciate is all four of these colors look very different on the eyes. The two mattes, the two shimmers. Sometimes when in more affordable quads or cheap brands or cheap makeup brands, a lot of their shades will look the same, and I really appreciate that these are definitely different. Another thing I want to do, because I know a lot of you do this with your shimmers, is let me pick up a little more of that lighter shimmer shade and let me spray my brush with the setting spray. And sometimes that'll even pack it on more. Oh yeah. It gives it a little bit more of that wet look. It's really pretty. Wow, I am impressed. I'm going to clean off that pencil brush that we just used for the shimmer, and I'm going to take the deeper matte again in the palette, and I'm going to buff that on my lower lash line. That is so pigmented. I think that one tap in, yeah, I could do both my eyes. That is so crazy. And then I'm going to go into that first shimmer, the little bit deeper one that we put on the outer portion of our lid, and buff that on top. Now we could use that light shimmer as our inner corner, but you know what? Since I have two highlights, let's use one of the highlighters for our inner corner. I'm going to use the Twilight shade, the one that was a little bit more icy white, only because I think that'll pair a little bit better than the more gold leaning highlight. And I'm going to tap that on my inner corner. That is so pretty. That was the perfect inner corner highlight. Using that big fluffy brush again, no added shadow, I'm just going to give everything one more quick blend. Now you know that I'm a felt tip liquid liner girl through and through, and this is honestly one of my favorite liners. This is the Artista felt tip liner. Fun fact, I bought 4 of these with my AOA order because this is such a good liquid liner. It doesn't skip, it's black, it's easy to use. The felt tip is just the right denseness and firmness to really get in and draw a wing, fill that wing in. Don't sleep on this felt tip liner. If you are like me and you're a liquid liner girl, definitely pick this up. So I'm going to go ahead and draw my wing. Look at that. Look how seamless that is. It is so easy to use. It doesn't skip. Very, very dark. And then I'm going to fill that in. So easy. And then go ahead and fill that in. And I'll go ahead and do my other eye off camera. I'm telling you, this is perfection. And then for mascara, this is an interesting component. At first it looked like a liquid liner component. This is the AOA Dream Lift Mascara. And the reason I chose this mascara off their website is because I prefer a little bit more fluffy brush. And this one definitely is a little bit more fluffy. Wow, this is applying really nice as well. Look at all of that volume that I'm getting, length. It's nice and black. It's really working good to separate my lashes. Wow. This wand also works really well on my lower lash line. So there is one coat of mascara. So far, I'm pretty impressed. So here's one coat on my lashes. Really, truly, I could stick with one coat, but I want to test this out. I want to make sure that it doesn't clump and stick my lashes together. So I am going to go in with a second coat. I can't believe how good this mascara is. It did not clump my lashes together. All it did is add more volume, more darkness, and more length. Also, I appreciate that it dries pretty quickly between coats, so you're not having to wait a long time to go in with another coat. So there is 2 coats of the mascara. Now for my brows, I always use 2 products. I use a brow pencil or brow pen, and then I also use a brow setter or a brow gel. So I grabbed the Sculptor brow pencil. So one end is the brow pencil, and I love how this is angled. It's so easy to draw on those hair-like strokes. And then the other end is a spoolie. So I'm going to go ahead and use the pencil section first to kind of draw in and fill in my brows. Now I have pretty thick, dark brows. They don't need a lot of filling in, but there's some areas of them that I always just fill in a little bit. Oh, this is working really nice. It did take a second for it to warm up. It was a little bit stiff at first, but now that it's warmed up, it's going on really easily. And then using the spoolie side, I just brush everything through. And then I have the AOA Tinted Brow Fix Gel in dark brown. So this is the little teeny weeny spoolie, the perfect one the perfect one to set your brows. So I'm going to just bring that through my brows. Just make sure those sparse areas are filled in. Again, add a little bit of tint, brush through my brows, and set them in place. I like a brow gel that sets my brows but doesn't leave them really crunchy. So I'm curious how this is going to work. I also want to show you, look how flexible this is. That's not my favorite. I feel like it's a little bit harder to really get in there and dig it into the brows. I'm going to let it set for just a couple of minutes. I want to see again if it makes my brows on that crispy, crunchy side. So my brows feel great. They feel set, but they are not crunchy. So that's a huge win. Now I picked up 3 products for the lips. I have a lip liner, a lip stick, and a lip oil. So for liner, this is Artista. This is the same brand as the liquid liner. This is the lip liner pen in the shade brown. Now here is what it looks like. I've never used a lip liner pen, only a lip liner pencil. Actually, let me go ahead and wipe any of my base makeup off my lips. Oh, that is interesting. So it feels liquidy, like a liquid liner, huh? It is a lip liner, right? Yeah, it's a lip liner, okay. So it goes on wet like a pen and then it dries down. This is really interesting. I've never used a product like that. I mean, it's completely dried down now, just as if I would have used a lip liner. I kind of like it. It's different, I like it. And then for lipstick, I picked up a liquid lip gloss in matte, which is interesting because matte and liquid lip gloss don't really go together. So I'm curious to see how this performs. This is again from the Cosmic Cowgirl set. I can't read the shade on the bottom because I'm old, but I'll put it here on the screen with the price. So it is a doe foot applicator, kind of giving me vibes of liquid lipstick, but then it says gloss, but it says matte. So this is also going to be interesting. First of all, it is a dead-on match to that lip liner. This smells so good. It smells like fruit. Ooh, that smells really good. So it's definitely applying like a liquid lipstick. And it's drying down like a liquid lipstick as well. What is great about this, besides how incredible it smells, is it doesn't feel drying on the lips. It's definitely dried down and there's no transfer. So definitely liquid lipstick reminiscent, but it doesn't feel dry like the Sahara Desert, like some liquid lipsticks. And boy, these two are a perfect match. And then I have used this product before and absolutely love it. I am a lip oil girl through and through. And this is the I Heart Dew or I Love Dew from AOA, their lip oil. Their lip oil, these are so good. I should have bought more because I really, really love them. I'm just trying to go through my lip product collection, but if you want an affordable, really good lip oil, the I Heart Dew is amazing. And I'm going to just put this on top. Oh, this color. It does not have a scent to it. But this shade is perfect with this lip combo, and that's just going to give it a gloss, give it a little bit of a sheen rather than it being so matte. Now it isn't going to be transfer proof any longer, but I like a good moisturized hydrating lip, and this lip combo is so beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and use the matte finishing spray to set my face, get dressed for the day, do my hair, and I'll be back to go through all of the products that we tested out today, show you the final look, and give you some thoughts on the AOA cheap makeup. So here is the finished look for today, and let's go over my thoughts on a full face of cheap makeup from Shop Miss A, all the AOA brand. Let's first start with the tools that I grabbed. So first, the foundation brush with the scoop. This works really well. It really helps deliver a little bit more coverage. I didn't notice a lot of brush strokes. It's the perfect denseness and thickness. I really, really like this. I can see myself using this a lot for foundation. And then the beauty sponge, it's a beauty blender dupe. It's the same bounciness of a beauty blender. It's soft. It just did a great job blending out both my concealer and my foundation. I'm definitely going to be picking more of these up, and I love this. I absolutely love this. Like I said, my Tati one's getting a little bit old and crusty dusty, and this worked really nice. I can see myself picking up a few more of these as well. I like the pointed tip part of the heart to do my under eye, and then the bigger portion of the heart is great to set the face. And there is, again, again, the little band that helps hold it onto your finger. So this also super soft, super nice. Let's go in the order we did our full face of makeup. So starting with the primer, again, the AOA Perfect Illuminating Primer. I love this. You saw how beautiful and glowy my skin was. This is perfection if you want a glowy base, which is exactly what I look for in a primer. I definitely don't want a mattifying primer. I want something that's going to be dewy and hydrating on my skin. I really like this. And then as far as the little liquid illuminizer, the Glow Baby, like I said, with this primer, I don't even need this. So I will end up using this with other primers that aren't as glowy. Or like I said, you could use this to tap on your cheek as a liquid highlight before setting your face. This is a tiny little tube. So for me, as a mix in with my foundation, I'm going to go through this really quickly. But if you're using this to tap on a liquid highlight, it's going to last a long time. And it was absolutely glowy and beautiful. And then the concealer, like I said, I wish it was a doe foot. It would just make it a little bit easier to apply. However, it blended out beautifully. It was a little bit more of a medium coverage, but I was able to build it up to get a little bit more full coverage. And I don't see any creasing or settling into my fine lines. So like I said, I'll pop up here on the screen a wear test for the concealer. That's the main thing I'm concerned about, that and the eyeshadow longevity. So I'll put that wear test here on the screen for you. But I really like this and I can see myself using this a lot as well. Absolutely love the bronzer. I love this bronzer. Again, mine's in the shade Canal. It doesn't have any scent. I was wondering if it had a little bit of a scent, but this is beautiful. And like I said, a little bit of this goes a very long way. So even though this is a small component, this is going to last so long. I love this. I can't wait to continue using it. And I'm also extremely impressed with this Petal Pop Duo. The cream blush and the powder blush, perfection. They layer beautifully over each other. And I appreciate that the powder blush has a little bit of a luminescence to it. So it gives a nice kind of glow to the skin, as well as lots of color payoff in both the cream and the powder. And I also appreciate that they come in the same compact. So it makes it easy for storage and travel. And then the setting powder, 10 out of 10. I'm going to be ordering more of these. I wish it was bigger. I wish I could pay more for a bigger one because this is so good. My base makeup looks absolutely flawless. That powder set my skin beautifully. It's not cakey. It didn't settle into my fine lines. It feels really nice. My skin feels really nice and soft and set. Love this. Absolutely love it. And again, I get mine in the more pink tinted shade just to add that little bit of brightness. This powder is so good. This powder sells out all the time. It's that good. And then the bronzer, I really like the bronzer as well. This again is in the shade Frappe, and this layered beautifully over the cream bronzer. Like I said, I could have definitely got a little bit deeper shade, but I like it. It added in that pretty sun-kissed glow to my skin and just warmed it up. It went on really nicely. It layered beautifully. It sunk into the skin. Another winner. We already talked about the powder blush, so let's talk about the two highlighters. I'm actually really happy that I got two because they're very different. First, this Twilight highlight is that little bit more icy white. It's the one, again, we used as our inner corner highlight. The packaging of this is so nice and so luxe. I love the pan embossing. I love that there's a mirror. This is a beautiful highlighter. It's sunk right into the skin, but you can see it from space, which is my preferred highlight. And that goes the same for the AOA Perfect in the shade Empress. Again, this one is a little bit more gold leaning. Packaging's not as fancy, but I really like this for a gold highlight. This would be beautiful as an inner corner or brow bone for a little bit more gold, kind of yellow mustard look or neutral look. Really beautiful formulas, both of these. I really like them both. Oh my gosh, I forgot all about my foundation. How did I forget about this? The Air Cream Foundation, again in the shade M3. I love this. I'm not going to be purchasing the KVD Good Apple for $40. I'll be buying this from now on. In fact, after this video, I'm going back on the AOA website to stock up on some of my favorites, including this foundation. The color is beautiful. The color is a great match to my skin. It's so flawless. I can't believe how airbrushed my skin looks. I'm blown away by how great my base looks, how great my skin looks. Love this foundation. Love, love, love. And while we're talking about my base and how great my skin looks, this setting spray is a miracle. Like I said, my face looks like I have a filter on. I don't see any texture, any imperfections. It set my face beautifully, and even though it's a matte setting spray, I still have a glow. I can still see all of that luminosity popping through from all of those products. Again, this is another product that pleasantly surprised me. I was expecting it to be matte, but it's matte in a good way where it makes my skin look airbrushed. So the eyeshadow base, the Shadow Stay, this was nice. I like that it was a doe foot. It was easy to apply, blended out really easily. I was able to get rid of any creases before going in with shadow. I have to say though, I would probably stick with my MAC paint pot only because it's my tried and true. But if you're balling on a budget, this is a much more affordable option. I want to say the MAC one is $26 and this was less than $2. So I would repurchase this again. I think it worked really well. It definitely helped with the opacity of the shadows. And then speaking of the shadow, little Cosmic Cowgirl Quad in Universe. What the heck? How is this so good? How are the mattes so buttery and blendable and buildable, and the shimmers are absolutely beautiful? Like I said, they're not that foiled wet look that you get from indie makeup, but they're a sparkly, beautiful, shifty shimmer that really applied nicely. Shadows blended out beautifully. I mean, I am blown away. I will be getting a lot of use out of this little quad. Oh, and speaking of this quad, they had multiple different color stories. I just chose the one that was a little bit more coraline. And then you already know, this is my favorite liquid liner ever. To be honest with you, this one and the dollar store LA Colors, in my opinion, are the best liquid liners. If you want something you can pick up at Ulta, grab the Essence. The Essence is really good as well, but this one steals the show for me. It's my favorite felt tip liquid liner. I mean, I bought 4 of them. This mascara was another thing that surprised me. The component of it is kind of cheapy, but I mean, it's really affordable makeup. I was surprised that the component came in what looks like a liquid liner. It's not the nicest component, but the mascara is absolutely incredible. Look at how long my lashes are. I do not have false lashes on. These are my lashes. They're so dark. There's so much volume and length, and it's not clumpy at all. I also appreciate that it dried quickly between applications, so I wasn't spending all day putting on mascara. Again, this is another thing I will be repurchasing. I really, really like this. Now the brow pencil, like I said in the beginning, it was a little bit stiff. It had to warm up a little bit, but once I was able to warm it up, it applied really nicely to my brows. I was able to fill them in, draw on those hair-like strokes, and I do appreciate the angled pencil, and then the spoolie also comes in really handy. So I definitely would buy this again. It's not my favorite brow product, but it worked really well, especially for how affordable it is. And then the brow gel, I did like this. Again, the springiness of the wand, the fact that it's so flexible kind of threw me off a little bit, but it worked really well. And like I said, my brows are set but not crunchy, which is exactly what I look for in a brow setter. So I definitely want to use this some more and get a little bit more thoughts on this, but first impression, it worked exactly as I would want a brow gel to work. Now this lip liner was another kind of weird thing for me. It was so weird that it went on like a felt tip liquid liner and then dried instantly. I actually like that though, because you're able to really get in with the liner and build it up. The formula of it is just not something I've ever experienced before, but I really enjoyed it, and I think the color of this is beautiful. And it couldn't pair more better with this liquid lipstick. This is 100% a matte liquid lipstick. It dries down just like a liquid lipstick, like I said, but it's not super drying on the lips. Love the shade of this. This again is from the Cosmic Cowgirl collection, and these two beautiful together along with the lip oil. I'm definitely going to be picking up some more of these. Now I love the e.l.f. lip oils as well, but this one is about 1/6 of the price and is amazing. It's so hydrating and beautiful on the lips. I mean, I have not touched up my lips and you can still see the lip oil. That's through doing my hair, getting dressed for the day. I even mixed up my creatine in my water, and the longevity of this lip oil is so good. And again, it's the I Heart Dew from AOA. So overall, my mind is actually blown on how great these products are. You do not have to buy high-end products. You do not have to buy luxury makeup to get flawless skin. I will tell you that my base makeup, my skin looks the best today that it's ever looked. Hands down, and I don't know how long. And that really excites me. This entire basket was $35. That's the price of one not even high-end makeup product. So again, you don't have to spend luxury prices to get beautiful makeup. The application of this, the way my skin looks, I am literally blown away, and I cannot wait to purchase more AOA products. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing another full face of AOA down the road when they've released some new things. A lot of this collection, a lot of these products are new, like this whole Cowgirl collection is new. They never had this setting spray before. I've never seen this foundation before, so let me know if you'd be interested in more videos in the future. Again, I'll link everything down below for you. Highly recommend. Like I said, my mind is literally blown. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, turn your bell on so you never miss a future video. Again, everything is linked down below for you, as well as my favorite beauty subscription boxes, discounts to my favorite indie brands, and come follow me on TikTok for more beauty and makeup. I am thoroughly, thoroughly impressed.